Welcome everybody to Off the Perc podcast. I don't even know what episode it is. It's like 7 or 8, I think.
Episode 7.
Episode 7. I'm with my co-host Aljad. Say hi,
everybody.
Aljad. And my name's Tzar, or Korandaya, if that's how you pronounce it on Discord. Say hi.
Hey guys, just call it mining. Mining's
Mining. Okay, that's what I call
it's Coriander technically on Discord, but
okay. So Aljad, you wrote the question, so you can get us started.
So last episode we interviewed Yellow Vixini. And the episode before that we interviewed CorruptedGreed. Did you join before or after those two?
joining EMC in general?
Yeah.
What do you think? So it was a funny thing.
January 2018.
Yeah, no, I joined before Greed. I believe it was either mid 2017 or 2016. Seems like so long ago. I joined Classic.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. Yeah, it was a pretty fun story how I joined, and I think I want to say I spawned in Bulgaria, I think it was. And I went to the Falkland Islands, across the whole map to get to the Falklands because there was no town on there at the time. I get to the Falklands and there's like a little cross made of sand on the ground. And I'm like, well, that looks kind of suspicious. I dig in and it's someone's base.
Oh, I think I read about this on the EarthMC wiki, sorry. But
yeah, it probably would be on my wiki, along with some other war crimes, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
And I just got a full god set of armor and tools, a bunch of other materials, took as much as I can, went to Siberia, played around there for a bit. And that was my time on Classic, really just like a month, maybe 2 months. And then I only came back in Nova.
Like beginning of Nova, like day one?
Day one, though, yeah. Well, I didn't have premium, so, whenever the...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you were a Roman day one? Day one Roman?
No, actually, I was in southern Ukraine. So I was on the border of the Dnieper, I think it was. Zaporozhye, I think was my first town. It was gonna be a bit of a Cossack town, bit of a wooden stockade, castle, all that stuff.
That was the beginning of Nova?
That was the beginning of Nova, yeah. That was, when did Nova start? Was it 20...
I think like mid 2018, late 2018.
Yeah, 2018. That was the beginning of Nova. I lived there. I was in a Discord of the Byzantines thinking, I'll just be a mercenary or something like that. Because the Turks were around back then.
Were you like nationless or...
No, just kind of hopping between nations as a town because I didn't have enough cash for my own place. So I was living there for a bit, castle, talking to people like Justinian and all. I was in a Discord during the whole like upheaval and the changing of leadership, but it was very much not Roman. It was more of like a friend of the Romans type of role, I think it was.
So
conducted a couple of raids on the Turks, all fun stuff.
The beginning of Nova, I don't think the very beginning had Turks though. I think that came later.
Well,
or am I wrong?
The YouTube invasion was way later. But from day one, there were Turks. There was a guy called, I think, Ragnar Lothbrok, who just completely batshit insane and would suicide into other towns with iron armor.
What a legend! Well, that's like names, right there. What made you want to join Rome? Was it like just people? Or fucking
people, but also Ukraine, Eastern Europe was a bit of a wasteland. It was like small, tiny towns, kind of inactive at the time. Not much of a government. And then the Rome, in comparison, was just a functioning thing on Discord. Right, you've had people talk, you've had people build roads, you've had actual systems and whatnot. So I think that's probably what made me join Byzantium, I think it was at the time. This is mid 2018, I think.
Wow, that was like literally 6 years ago. That's
we don't talk about that. Fuck.
I know.
It's been a while.
It's been so long. Go ahead, Aljad. You still have a lot of questions.
All right. So how did you go from... You went from the Cossack town, Zaporizhia?
Yeah.
So was Far Alexandria your next town? Or
did you have that was my next town. So I think I just got kind of like, you know what? This seems a bit ass. Ukraine's boring. The terrain's boring. Everything's boring. So I moved to Bactria, which is... I was going to name it Alexandria Escate, which is like the furthest Alexandria that Alexander the Great made in the Fergana Valley. It's like a really cool looking valley full of rivers. surrounded by mountains in Central Asia, and it's going to be like a Greek-style town. But then the name didn't fit, so I had to go Far _Alexandria.
Gotcha. That's a cool name too, though. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah. I think to this day, it's one of the most fun towns I've built, just because working with all these mountains. I don't know if you've ever been, but...
Yeah, look, it looks sick, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been. There's a video on YouTube, I think.
I found it recently because I was looking for like inspiration for Sarajevo because there's a bunch of hills. And I found a random YouTube video. It was kind of funny. Yeah. But it's like, I want to ask you, because you had two big towns on Nova that I think you spent most of your time, Hallicanarsus and Far Alexandria. Yeah. Which one do you think which one do you prefer? Which one do you think looks better? Which one?
I think in terms of just looks, Hallicanarsus probably has more of an overall theme and is more aesthetically pleasing to the eye, just because I was better at building when I made it. But Alexandria is by far the most unique town I've worked on. It's one of the most unique towns on Nova in that you've got these giant bridges spanning from one side to the other of the town because it sits in a mountain valley. And then you've got these terraced layers of housing and a big river down the middle as well. There was going to be a big statue of Atlas holding up the town spawn, but the person building that just kind of disappeared halfway through. So it was kind of a half-built statue for a bit.
Isn't there like a giant, like a cordo flower in the middle of Far Alexandria after you sold it?
So that's not a cordo. Let me just load the map again. It was the actual, I made like a flag for it, and then I made that in the arena. So that's actually the flag of Bactria.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. That arena wasn't built by me though. So when I sold it to, I think it was Air Fury, I think that's the alt holding it, but sold to someone for
I think Highlander. I know Highlander had
Highlander, yeah. I sold that town to him for like $2,500. Museum, storage, housing, everything. He replaced the human statue with a dragon, removed the farms from the bottom river, and then added that arena. But the idea was the whole town was going to encompass this whole valley at max chunks, which unfortunately never did because Bactria was pretty isolated. The only way you could really get around is either a lot of food or by horse, which was a lot of fun. If you guys remember the time when new players, you could still hurt them.
Yeah.
That was fun because what I would do is I would get on my horse with splash speed 2 potions. I'd find some newbies spawned in, vote for them, pull up, and then threaten them in chat to give me money. And I couldn't kill them, right? Because they had protection, but you could still hurt them, even though it didn't do any damage. So you'd punch them once, send them a threatening message, and half of them actually dropped the gold.
That's beautiful.
It used to be very profitable. It used to be very profitable.
And how much gold did you say you got from that?
For what? For killing noobs?
Yeah, or threatening them.
Oh, sorry. Most of the town's expansion was financed by exploitation of new players.
By taxes?
Yeah, every time somebody would join, I'd tell them to vote, and however much money they got from voting, would pretty much set that as the plot price. And just, that house is exactly how much you just voted for.
Now,
that was a little...
What would you say is like your favorite memory from Nova?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And if you don't have if you don't have a particular favorite, just like, one of your top moments.
I think one of them was when we all went to China, when the Chinese players started showing up. I think it was mid 2018. I think the GRE must have been a thing then. We went to Enspawn, Mongolia, and back then, if you had 10 apples, you can spawn a horse using MCMMO. And we would spawn horses, teleport away, wait 2 minutes for the horses to no longer despawn, come back, speed 2 potions, and we would just run down anyone in China with bows and swords. Because all the towns used to be really small, so all the Chinese players were in the wilderness all the time. It was like a Mongolian invasion. It was so much fun. Another fun memory was the Bosnian flower machine.
Oh yeah.
So we found that one of the Bosnian rebel towns in the GRE had explosions turned on. So we went ahead and set up a TNT cannon to shoot right into the middle of that town where the storage was. And we managed to uncover this piston. I don't even know what the point of it was. This automated piston machine that would move dirt blocks and glass blocks on top of the flowers. and it would cause such immense FPS lag that when Cloaked Eagle showed up, his computer crashed. And then that resulted in the
They still defend it to this day. I was talking to them. They're like, "Oh, you place bone meal on the grass and like destroys all the flowers." I don't know.
Yeah, it caused such immense lag that we were just thinking, oh, we're just gonna get their storage and steal their stuff, but we didn't think we'd find this FPS killer and just, you know.
Yeah, you uncovered the weapons of mass destruction under Bosnia.
Yeah. And then the last one was probably I found Nbax's town in South America had PvP turned on. And Nbax, for those who don't know, used to PvP a lot on Nova and would save all his sets. So I managed to snipe his storage with the TNT cannon. And that gave me maybe, I don't know, something like 60 sets. That I stole from him.
That's a question I wanted to ask you. Who do you think's the greatest EarthMC Pvper, or like a top 3? Because
what's his name? I'm just trying to remember the name of the guy who would train me.
Skater?
Sabs? No.
Skater?
Sabs?
No.
Water God?
Not Skater. Water God's okay, it's not the best. If you want to talk one of the most infamous on Nova, as for the GRE community and the surrounding nations, it was probably Jevil.
Who?
Just due to Jevil.
Oh,
just due to the fact that he knew how to PvP and he knew how to prolong fights. And the GRE army was mostly dudes without potions. So he'd slaughter like 20 of us at a time, which was pretty fun. And then he would know when to retreat.
He was like hyping up FCU, but I don't know. I can't say anything.
There's a guy with he had like an orange Lorax skin.
Oh, Ugg braces.
Braces? I think braces. Yeah, I think braces is one of the best ones I've fought. Obviously, this has changed now, but in Nova, that would have been braces.
I was in VC with him like 2 weeks ago. He'll be here May 1st. He'll be in Venice.
Because supposedly May 1st is when the war plugin comes.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, braces was one of the best that I've ever fought, just on a PvP legacy. Pretty rough, yeah.
Where did the time go? 6 years ago? 6 years ago, I was like in I think middle school. It's crazy. We grew up together, Mining Tzar.
Yeah, man.
Time flies. All right, I got a question. So, because of the real life geopolitical tensions between your home country of Australia and China, would you say they're a threat, or like they're kind of too far to really do anything?
Nah, it's too far, man. They're gonna do is put tariffs on it, and that's it.
Okay. So you're like, you think it'll be fine because you got like the Western side?
I think he'll be fine, man. I think they've got other things to worry about than some random big island in the middle of nowhere. Population of like one Chinese mid-tier town.
Yeah, you guys have the same population as North Korea, give or take.
Yep.
That's crazy. Can you believe that, John?
I can believe it. Because the middle of
Turkey's got more people living in it than all of Australia.
Yeah, I guess not. So, did we talk about like your time in Aurora at all? Because like, you know, once Nova came to an end... I don't think
we mentioned Aurora, no.
Yeah, I mean, once, you know, Nova came to an end, did you think you were going to play Aurora, or like you got dragged into it, or what?
I did want to, because I think we all kind of just went inactive and started doing the 42-day login.
Yeah, but there was nothing to do at the end of Nova, like literally.
Yeah, because we really in end of Nova, GRE just kind of peaked, right? You didn't have many geopolitical shenanigans going on. The Turks and other ethnics was just really reduced to one town. I kept logging in every 42 days, and you couldn't do anything about that, right?
Yeah.
So for the GRE, we've pretty much done all we could in terms of like expansion, and it was just kind of became stale. All you could do was build. So really, I mean, the game became stale because the geopolitics part of the whole thing just stopped. Unless you're like here for the pizza, who built this gigantic dome in Bursa, which, by the way,
here's a picture of it up on the screen.
Yeah, he's gonna edit it in.
He's gonna edit it. Yeah, coordinates are 5,100 minus 7,500 on Nova. Go check out the dome. Unless you're building builds like this. Yeah, I'm looking at it now on the map.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're building something of that scale, you're gonna run out of places to build and space to build. So once the game became stale, we figured, okay, Aurora's coming in. An announcement was made. What do we do? Because we came up with the idea of Venice maybe a year before Aurora came out.
Yeah, it was a while.
Year and a half, yeah. But the idea was we were sick and tired of having this big ass empire and everyone living in their own town. So we wanted to consolidate.
Yeah.
We wanted to consolidate. Imagine what if we took everyone in Jiri, put them all in one town? It would be a pretty dope town, right? That was the thought process behind it. So when we came up with Venice, the point was, okay, we're gonna get Venice to 940 chunks, build it all up, and no one can fuck with us. And then we start annoying everyone else. Once we're built up, we can just do whatever because our main town is just, maxed out.
This is a question I had written down. I just wrote down Venice City versus Venice Empire. Like, obviously, I mean, you said to fuck around with. Like, recently, there's been some drama in Venice regarding the Greeks and the Turks, and I honestly would not care if all the Greek cities and all the Turkish cities left Venice. I wouldn't care at all.
That's so rude of you.
It wouldn't really matter in my opinion because what's happening
we
now
don't claim them. It's not core territory. Like, who cares if Venice controls like northern Anatolia?
What's happening now is, in my opinion, is everyone who used to live in Venice has now moved out to where you have like maximum 3 active people in the town compared to like the 15 actives we had before. So obviously everything in the capital is slowed down to a crawl. Pretty much nothing's going on. Nothing's being built. Plans aren't being worked on. A lot of undeveloped land, and everyone's putting their effort into these towns on the periphery. So whilst you could say it looks good on the map, but then you go end spawn and it looks like a gypsy camp, right? So how can we call ourselves an empire if our end spawn is a gypsy camp?
You're right.
So you're saying the capital city got gentrified?
No, it didn't get gentrified. The opposite of gentrification.
Oh yeah, it got like
deserted.
Blockbusting. Is that what it's called?
Blockbusting.
What is blockbusting?
I don't know what the opposite. What the word is for the opposite.
It's like the opposite of gentrification. So when you like destroy a property to like lower the value.
Yeah. Basically, everyone's moved out. So when Slope and I actually got to building all these cool apartments, there's no one to live in them. So what we have is a bunch of smaller apartments that we'll probably have to consolidate into bigger ones because no one's really living there anymore.
Well, was the idea to have the core GRE guys in the apartments?
The idea was to have the apartments, half of them be for core GRE people and who lived in Venice and helped build and stuff. The other half would be, I envisioned it as an international property market. Set it all to embassies, allow people to buy, and you have outside investment into Venice. Because there were supposed to be shops all around the city, not just in one area, spread all around.
Yeah, because if Venice really was like the greatest EarthMC city of all time, then yeah, I'd imagine people would want to like own a house in Venice if like if it was always like a 500-person town at all times.
Exactly. And the point of that is once you get that ball rolling, once people start investing into the town and buying apartments, they're much more likely to invest even more, say buy a shop, start selling things. The economy starts rolling, the ball starts rolling, and we get all this gold that we use to expand the empire. But I think the fall of Spain caused everyone to think about expansion a bit prematurely.
Yeah, that was really unexpected.
Everyone just kind of jumped the gun, in my opinion, to move to Spain. Like the main capital wasn't built up enough to sustain itself. Because the southern district, this one that the Spanish people got, is still half constructed.
Damn. Unfortunate. But weren't you guys pretty inactive like beforehand though? Because like the immigrants came and went, but like beforehand there wasn't, at least from what I saw, much being done anyway. So wasn't it just kind of like a return to the status quo?
No, it was a status quo, yes, but it was more like a renaissance because pre-overclaim, before you came, Gold, it was very, or Dan rather, before you came, it was very everyone logged in once every 42 days. I think I even missed one, and I think my data got deleted. But it was very much, it was very much like,
Damn.
Venice, we tried to, we built, because back, and also if you have Aljet, if you can try editing a photo of what Venice used to look like before. We made it
like a picture of before Dennis first came.
Yeah, because it used to be very blocky, really chunk based, but now that we have quarters, we're free from that. So
Oh,
the
like a
building
plan,
potential
like one of the
back
plans
in
of like
overclaim.
we all pick where we're gonna live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because you had overclaim, you had quarters, you had Dan recruiting, and it was this
It's
perfect
the
storm of
perfect
action.
ingredients to make the Powerpuff Girls and Venice.
Exactly. But then someone added too much Empire, and then boom.
To be honest, recruiting now is like fucking crazy. Like me and Fritz got 400 residents, but that was because it wasn't overclaim yet. That was during the grace period, and no one was competing with us. Now that there's competition, I tried to maintain the town at 100 residents, but like now I'm just hovering around 80 because like everyone's recruiting. It's a Friday night on EMC right now. Like an hour ago, like on a Friday night, there's 3 town lists. Like, what are we meant to do as recruiters? It's crazy. I don't know. Overclaim is good, but like we need a YouTuber invasion or something. Like it's so hard to get people now, and especially for them to stay.
This was the same thing that happened to the G area at one point, where we had like 15 nations in there, and there was no point to have 15 nations because it was all spread around and overlapping claims. So I think we're gonna end up in Venice a bit of a, in my opinion, we need a bit of a consolidation
into the city,
right? Into the city, but into more core regions, like something like Sicily, for example. Great town, right?
Yeah,
great town. Looks okay-ish. I think they're building a bit too big and ambitiously for the size that they have.
I think so
But
too.
they're still building, right? They're still building. So
can you even imagine that Sicily's gotten deconsolidated? Like there was Dres 1, Dres 2, 32 Angel, A Garrett, 32 Dres, and all of them have left, I think, except for Dres 1. Dres 2 might help out with the town, but even Sicily got deconsolidated.
Yeah, and everyone's going out colonizing, making their towns and burning out.
And then we're encouraging this because Venice has the provincial system, so like everyone can have their own 32.
You wanted a province title.
No, I didn't. Luis wanted the system, and I said I'd vote for it if I get my own province. But I said I don't support it. I'm evil. Okay, I'm evil. Okay, there.
All right. I'm just
Speaking of evil.
Yeah.
Speaking of evil, Justinian, as partially wrong as he was, and may he rest in peace. And Philly, if you're listening, please come back.
Come back.
Come back. What's happening now is he was correct in that, hey, why are we expanding so much? This is a bit pointless. But I don't think he explained it very well. Why he was
didn't explain it at all, actually.
No, and partially was getting troll in Discord that caused it, but I think he and I kind of predicted this was kind of going to happen because we saw the same thing happen to the Gieri, where you had Constantinople with one person sitting in there, and it's the capital of this big empire, and there's just one guy, Philly, and Exmert the slumlord, and that's it. And he didn't want that to happen again, but here we are, and it's happened again, and don't really have anyone to build stuff in Venice. So in my opinion, we need to consolidate again, have people actually buy some housing, invest back into the city, help the building projects, and make it a capital worthy of an empire.
We just got I built something last night, but that was like underground for the Riz lobby. So that's a long story. But Slope and Miro are building West Venice right now. It is like kind of like in a crawl, but it's slowly getting done. But what really bothers me is like that building like straight from spawn. That shit is like, I don't know if it's Philly or whoever the fuck did it, but like it's like,
could you tell me the coordinates?
Oh, the church?
Yeah, you just run straight from end spawn, like straight. Yeah, like the walls aren't done. There's like holes. There's like holes in it. Like how is that even possible?
You mean the basilica?
I don't know the names. That's
how big is it? Like 5x5 chunks? That massive one?
It's just straight from end spawn. It's the only thing there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the basilica. It's like what the square looks like in real life.
Cause like there's a lot of like you look at the walls and there's like fucking like layers missing. It looks weird. I don't like that. Like I understand it's not finished, but like, why is there like random holes? I don't get it.
In the exterior walls, there's no hole.
Because of a lack of manpower, and if anyone's listening to this and you want gold, we will pay you to build in Venice.
Even foreigners? We have people that do schematics. We have Beal, we have Jasper, and we have sometimes Fritz, and a few other guys that you don't know.
We have Alshad.
Yeah. But I'm thinking we need to go more international with this.
You're right. Maybe we do.
Anyways, I had a question written down. Well, it was like an outside source, like a whistleblower, came in and claimed that you are 5'5". I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna keep him anonymous. But what do you have to say to these accusations? Are they true?
I mean, I'm not afraid to admit I'm under 6 foot. Right.
I mean, under 6 foot is like
I'm under 6. Like I can tell you that much. Right.
Damn.
So I think when you're under 6, the rest just doesn't matter, unless you're under 5, at which point you should get disability payments, I think.
Yeah, you definitely should.
But anything under 6 is just like this one big, like,
I guess.
got unlucky, bro.
Well, the average male height is like 5'9", I think, or 5'8". So
in Australia,
I don't know. I think in the world, I don't know. In the United States, it's like 5. It's like 5'9".
If you want to feel tall, go to the Philippines.
Yeah, they're short as fuck over there.
That's true. That's goddamn true. All right, Osha, take it away. Take it away.
I was like, how do you feel? How do you feel? Like I feel in Aurora, like when I compare the community to Aurora and Nova.
Here he goes again. Here he goes again with this bullshit. Go ahead.
I feel like Aurora is a lot. I don't know, not softer, but a lot more like, I guess, drama oriented. I feel like more people were way more bombastic in Nova. I feel like there were a lot more characters in Terra Nova. Like I could name you Duca Civ, Greek Enderman, the Bosnians, the Turks were more interesting in Nova. They had fucking camps. We would watch them build furnace towers. But in Aurora, maybe it's just me, but I feel like a lot of people blend in. Like I mix a lot of people up mistakenly.
Yeah, there's
like a strong character.
I agree. I would say I agree. I don't see the same names pop in and out of like EMC news, right? Because we had characters like Chow, Dukasiv, like you said, like some funny guys, some funny people. But we also had genuine, serious role players and, you know, people who ran empires. Like Oliver Cordo, for example, as shit as they were, and, you know, they
had their shit going for them. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, so I think on Aurora, there's less of those kinds of people who are just sort of dominating the news. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily because we have just less people playing. We have more people playing now, I think, than we ever had in Nova. But I think it's because regions are much more, well, regional now. So, like, what's happening in Siberia for us is like, I don't know, right? But probably what's happening over there from their point of view is just this massive world war and there's chaos, and they have their own famous people. So I think it's more regionalized now. Whereas before Nova, it used to be a lot more global.
Why?
Does that make sense? I think we've moved away from this globalist geopolitical thing to more regional.
I'd say that, but then you see like people town hopping like from Canada to Spain to Croatia. That's what Urbane did. He went from Italy to Spain to Canada to France to Croatia
to Austria. He's in Austria now.
Oh, he's in Austria now? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Well, are you saying people never did that on Nova? Because they definitely did.
They did, but I think there's a lot more on Aurora. Like just his grind set, Sigma, get the money, sell the town. But,
I think part of that is overclaim. It kind of forces people to like reconsider their position. Like if it wasn't for me and Fritz, like who's gonna recruit for the capital? Greed? Probably not. He's fucking busy.
He's busy running around in circles around Enswell.
You know, I said that to him in the VC and he got very mad at me. He was like, hop off. I was like, you know, Greed, instead of running around, you could be mining or something. He did not like that.
I remember I was talking to him about that in like 2019. I was like, we both.
The problem with where Greed lives now is that on the GRE end spawn, the end spawn was circular, so he could actually run around in circles, but now it's a square. In the plaza.
It was an actual.
So he's having a bit more trouble.
Yeah, he was actually making laps and shit.
Yeah. So now he's having a bit of trouble doing it.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. You're right, actually.
Poor Greed.
Yeah. Oh, I had a question. So, are you proud of me? Well, not me specifically, but I'm part of it. So, are you proud of me for continuing the quest against Fluxify for leaking the Purple Pheonix plan?
Always.
Thank you. Fuck Flux. Fuck you. Fuck you, Flux, if you're listening. I hate you. So evil.
We will hold the grudge forever. Entry number 1 in the Great Book of Grudges.
Yeah, it's crazy because like he owns Egypt now. It's kind of random going from UK to Egypt.
That name was so familiar to me, but I was like, who is this guy who owns
Indochina?
I didn't realize. Yeah.
Indochina, then it left the GRB during the time of mining's like plan to centralize.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. Damn. So long.
The purple bird will need to come back. Mark my words.
The what?
I would talk about Purple Pheonix, but that's for strong ears only. I don't want to scare any sensitive viewers.
What are you talking about?
It's hardcore shit, man.
Not.
Yeah. But
serious document with serious people.
This podcast has seen us go through discussions on PvP. Aurora versus Classic versus Nova, Hallicanarsus versus Far Alexandria, highs and lows in height and economic factors. And at the end of the day, it brings us all back to Venice. All roads lead to Venice.
Wow.
Anything you want to tell the audience listening at home, Manning?
If you're feeling bored in your current town, if you think, man, I feel it's rough running my own town, recruiting, building, doing administrative stuff like plots, etc. You don't have to. You can just join another town. It's much easier to be in a town with a bunch of other active people than it is running a town by yourself, because it is a lot of effort.
Wow.
Which town should they join?
Well, I'm being paid. I'm not being paid to say this, but you should join Venice.
Yay! Wait, did we before? Because I feel like all judge trying to wrap it up. But did we ask Mining his favorite and least favorite EMC player?
No, dude. Do we do that every episode?
I feel like we should have some staple questions, kinda. We're still warming up. This is only episode 7.
That's all right.
So, favorite EarthMC player.
Favorite EarthMC player.
And it doesn't have to be one. A lot of people have done collectives, but you can do like.
I think from an entertainment standpoint, he made me smile every time he was online. Probably Dukasiv.
Made you smile.
Probably Dukasiv. In terms of someone I genuinely respect, and someone who's gone through a great deal of character development, definitely Turk Daft Joker.
Character development. What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by? I mean, when Turk first joined, right? We've had maybe, I don't know, something like 20 battles. Like, I still remember killing his ass in the Syrian mountains. Okay. Back when he was on the rebel side. But then something within him clicked. He saw the light. And look at him now.
You laugh all you want, but
the most loyal
nicest guys I've ever met on EarthMC.
Yeah.
What? I didn't hear him. What did he say?
I say you laugh all you want, but Turk's one of the nicest guys I've ever met on EarthMC.
I mean, yeah, I like him.
That is true. That is true.
It's just funny that, like, I don't know. It's just surreal to me that, like, he's a Turk that's invading Turkey. You know what I mean? You don't see that every day.
Anyways, least favorite player.
Least favorite. Oh, least favorite.
It's hard. I wouldn't even know how to answer that question if someone asked me.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an answer.
Okay.
Probably.
What's so funny?
I'm thinking of the name of a guy who used to ult all the time.
Britain?
It's like he's like Voldemort. You can't say.
Yes, I can't say his name. Look, in terms of least favorite, probably they were entertaining, but they were really fucking annoying. The Bosnians, probably.
They own
because I did see him jump out of a 3-block hole, and I wasn't recording at the time, which pissed me off.
Wait, who jumped?
Khalid, I think. Yeah, when he was fly hacked out of a hole.
And he's gone now, right? Or what? He's banned.
Yeah, I think he's perma-banned, probably.
Yeah.
He's also the one who wrote my Wikipedia page on FMC Wiki.
Was he biased?
Look, he called me a genocidal maniac.
Wow.
There's for context for those who are listening. When the Bosnians first joined the EMC, they went to Far Alexandria, and
I think I read that.
bought up plots that I specifically told them not to buy. So I figured, well, might as well murder them. And they got pretty pissed at that. Moved to Bosnia, changed my Wikipedia page, and now they said I think every year they celebrate what's called the mining maniac massacre to commemorate the victims of mining Tzar.
So this was all your fault, basically.
I started I didn't know it at the time, but I started the Bosnian GRE war.
Wow,
that is wild. Actually,
that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah,
and I think that's a perfect conclusion for today's episode.
Well, everyone, we laughed, we loved, we cried. This has been Mining Tzar. I realized we never really introduced him properly, so I don't think I think very few people actually know who he is, just because it's all like Aurorans now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hopefully,
the real Novans out there know what's up.
Hopefully, they can learn the legend, right, Oljad?
Exactly.
So, are we closing it out now or what?
We are.
All right, go ahead.
Goodbye, everybody.
That sucks.
Thanks for listening.